My husband said, "She doesn't even know how this thing works." He didn't knew I could speak through it. The buffering wheel on my phone screen spun lazily, a cheerful blue circle that usually precedes a video of my golden retriever, Buster, barking at the mailman. I sat at my desk, surrounded by the hum of office chatter and the smell of burnt popcorn from the breakroom microwave, just wanting a glimpse of my dog. It was 2:15 p.m. on a Wednesday. I missed him. I opened the Alexa app and tapped "Drop In" on the living room Echo show. The screen flickered. The audio crackled to life first. I didn't hear barking. I didn't hear the jingle of a collar. I heard laughter. It was a low, throaty, feminine laugh that definitely didn't belong to me. I froze. My thumb hovered over the "end call" button, my brain scrambling to make sense of the data. Was the TV on? Did I leave a podcast running? Then, I heard his voice. Mark. My husband of 6 years. The man who texted me at noon saying he was swamped with meetings and might be late for dinner. "Relax, babe," Mark's voice was clear as a bell, cutting through the digital static. "She won't be home until 6 o'clock. We have plenty of time." My heart stopped. It literally stopped beating for a second, a cold, heavy silence expanding in my chest. The woman laughed again. "Are you sure she doesn't check this thing? The Echo?" Mark scoffed. I could hear the clink of glass on glass. They were drinking. "She doesn't even know how it works. She just uses it for timers and weather. It's basically a paperweight to her." I stared at the black screen of my phone. I had turned the camera off on my end so I could spy on the dog without startling him, but the audio was a one-way street of betrayal. He thought I was stupid. He thought I was technologically illiterate. He was sitting in my living room, drinking my wine, with a woman whose laugh sounded like nails on a chalkboard, counting on my ignorance to protect him. I felt the heat rising in my neck, a prickly, radioactive sensation that started at my collarbone and crawled up behind my ears. My vision went a little blurry at the edges. I wasn't sad. I wasn't heartbroken. I was furious. I looked at the app interface. There was a button I rarely used. Announce. It allows you to type a message that the device will read aloud in its robotic, authoritative voice at maximum volume. Or, you can speak directly. I didn't want to speak. If I spoke, my voice would shake. I would cry. I would scream. I wanted them to hear something cold. Something inhuman. I tapped announce. My fingers flew across the keyboard. "This is your wife. I am recording this conversation. Get out of my house before I call the police." I hit send. I waited. The audio feed was still live. I heard the chime, that distinct, ascending ding-dong that signals an Alexa announcement. Then, the robotic voice boomed through my living room. "This is your wife. I am recording this conversation. Get out of my house before I call the police." The silence that followed was absolute. It was heavy. It was the sound of oxygen being sucked out of a room. Then, chaos. "Jesus Christ!" Mark yelled. I heard the sound of something heavy hitting the floor, probably a body jumping off the couch. "What was that?" the woman shrieked. "You said she couldn't hear us." "I don't know." Mark sounded frantic. "It must be a glitch. Or she hacked it." "Hacked it?" I whispered to my phone. "I logged in, you idiot." "Turn it off," the woman screamed. "Mark, turn it off." She said police. I heard scuffling. I heard glass shattering. Someone had knocked over the wine bottle. "Where is the plug?" Mark was shouting. "Where does it plug in?" "Just rip it out." There was a loud, static-filled crunch as the device was presumably yanked from the wall socket. The feed cut. Device offline. I sat back in my chair, my hands shaking uncontrollably. The adrenaline was crashing, leaving me lightheaded and nauseous. I had caught them. I had terrified them. But I wasn't done. Mark thought he had killed the feed. He thought he had silenced the house. He forgot about the ring. And he forgot about the echo dot in the bedroom. I switched apps. I opened Ring. I scrolled to the live view history. At 2:18 p.m., 2 minutes after the announcement, the back door camera triggered. I watched the clip. The door flew open. A woman ran out. She was blonde. She was wearing a dress that looked suspiciously like one I had donated to Goodwill last year. She wasn't wearing shoes. She was carrying her heels in one hand and her purse in the other. She looked back at the house, her face a mask of pure terror. I paused the video. I zoomed in. I knew her. It took a second for my brain to place the face, but then it clicked. Jessica. Jessica from Mark's office. The account manager he complained about. The one he said was annoying and too loud. She was the mistress. I saved the video. I downloaded it to my phone. Then, I opened the Alexa app again. I went to the History tab. Most people don't know this, but Alexa records audio snippets before the wake word sometimes, or if it thinks it hears a command. And drop-in sessions? They are logged. The audio is saved to the cloud for review. I found the log from 2:10 p.m. The minutes leading up to my intrusion. I put my headphones on. I hit play. The audio was clearer here. The background noise was filtered out. So did you do it? Jessica asked. Yeah, Mark replied. I called the broker this morning. The beneficiary is changed. It goes to the trust now, not her. My blood ran cold. Beneficiary. Trust. Good, Jessica purred. Because if something happens, we need that payout. She can't get half if it's not in her name. Don't worry, Mark said. I also called the credit card company. I removed her as an authorized user on the Amex. She won't know until she tries to swipe it. I gasped. This wasn't just an affair. This was financial warfare. He was moving assets. He was changing life insurance policies. He was preparing to leave me destitute. Last week, I realized. He said he changed it last week. I minimized the app. I opened my banking app. I checked the joint account. Balance, $412. Yesterday, it was $5,000. Transaction, transfer to external account, $4,588. He had drained it. He had cleaned us out. I felt a cold, hard resolve settle over me. The shaking stopped. The tears dried up. I wasn't a wife anymore. I was a plaintiff. I printed the bank statement. I saved the audio files. I saved the video of Jessica running barefoot through my backyard. I packed up my desk. I told my boss I had a family emergency. Is everything okay? She asked, seeing my pale face. No, I said. But it will be. I drove straight to a lawyer's office. Mr. Henderson. He had handled my parents' estate. He was expensive, but he was ruthless. I walked in without an appointment. I told the receptionist it was an emergency involving dissipation of marital assets and infidelity. Henderson saw me immediately. I played the tape. I showed him the video. He listened. He watched. He tented his fingers. Mrs. Stevens, he said, his voice low and serious. In this state, infidelity usually doesn't impact asset division much. It's a no-fault state. However, he pointed to the bank statement. Financial dissipation of assets in anticipation of divorce? Changing beneficiaries without spousal consent? That is fraud. That allows us to pierce the corporate veil, so to speak. We can freeze everything. We can claw back every penny he spent on her. And we can ask for 100% of the remaining assets as a penalty. Do it, I said. And the recording? Henderson asked. He might claim it was illegal. Two-party consent. He was in my house, I said. Speaking to my device. On my account. And the device announces when someone drops in. There is a chime. He ignored it. Valid argument, Henderson nodded. We'll use it. I'm filing an emergency motion to freeze his accounts right now. By 5 p.m., his cards will be bricks. I left the lawyer's office. I went home. Mark's car was in the driveway. I walked in. He was sitting at the kitchen table. He looked calm. He had cleaned up the glass. He had put the Echo back on the shelf, though it was still unplugged. Hey, he said when I walked in. He tried to smile. You're home early. I am, I said. So, he laughed nervously. Did you try to use the Echo earlier? It was acting weird. Making noises. I think it's broken. I unplugged it. It's not broken, Mark, I said. I spoke through it. You, what? He feigned confusion. I didn't hear anything. Must have been a glitch. He was gaslighting me. He was going to pretend it never happened. He was going to pretend Jessica wasn't there. I walked to the table. I placed a manila envelope in front of him. Open it, I said. He opened it. He pulled out the screenshot of Jessica running away. He pulled out the transcript of his conversation about the life insurance. He pulled out the bank transfer record. And finally, he pulled out the divorce petition Henderson had drafted in 20 minutes. Mark went pale. He looked at the papers. He looked at me. You recorded us, he whispered. That's illegal. You can't use that. My lawyer disagrees, I said, sitting down opposite him. And so does the judge who just signed the freezing order on your bank accounts. Freezing order? Mark scrambled for his phone. He opened his banking app. Account locked. Contact administrator. You can't do this, he shouted, standing up. That's my money. It was our money, I corrected him. Until you tried to steal it. Now it's evidence. I didn't steal it, he yelled. I was moving it. For safety. And the life insurance? I asked. Did you move that for safety too? Did you think I was going to kill you, Mark? Or were you planning something else? He went silent. He realized he had said too much on the tape. He realized I heard everything. It was just talk, he mumbled. Locker room talk. Jessica, she's nobody. She means nothing. She means enough to risk your career, I said. My career? I emailed HR, I said casually. About an hour ago. I sent them the video of Jessica in our house during work hours. And the audio of you discussing financial fraud. I think they have a policy about that. Mark's eyes bulged. You didn't. I did. Anonymous tip. But with 4K video attached. Mark's phone rang. It was his boss. He stared at the screen. He didn't answer. You should probably take that, I said. It might be your exit interview. He grabbed his keys. He grabbed his jacket. You're a monster, he spat at me. You ruined my life over a misunderstanding. I didn't ruin your life, I said. I just pressed record. He stormed out. I locked the door behind him. I changed the locks an hour later. The fallout was spectacular. Mark was fired on Friday. Gross misconduct. Use of company time for personal affairs. Potential fraud. Jessica was fired too. The divorce took 6 months. Mark tried to fight the recording in court. The judge listened to the audio of him plotting to hide assets. The judge looked at Mark. He looked at his lawyer. "Mr. Stevens," the judge said. "You attempted to defraud your spouse. You admitted to it on tape. The recording is admissible as evidence of intent to commit a crime. The objection is overruled. I got the house. I got the car. I got the retirement fund. Mark got his clothes. And the Echo? I threw it away. I bought a new one. A newer model with a better camera. I live alone now. It's quiet. But sometimes, I drop in on the living room when I'm at work. Just to check. I see Buster sleeping on the rug. I see the sunlight hitting the floor. I smile. Technology is amazing. It connects us. It simplifies our lives. And sometimes, if you're lucky, it takes out the trash. So, tell me. Am I the monster for using smart home surveillance to destroy my husband's life, or did he just get caught in the web he spun?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.